On the willingness to tell us what the Iran deal. This is sort of the pass the Iran deal to see what's in it version.
Donald Trump is talking about this right now.
About the Iran deal.
Sorry, time out. Here we go.
What's going on? What is going on? You see it? You don't believe it? $400 million in cash being flown in an airplane to Iran. I wonder where that money really goes, by the way, right? I wonder where it really goes. Well, it went to either in their pockets, which I actually think more so, or toward terrorism. Probably a combination of both. So $400 million in cash. Now, you'd really understand, who can authorize, even in terms of a president, who can authorize $400,000 in cash? Different currencies. They didn't want the dollar. They wanted different countries, different currencies. They've got a little of everything over there. I guess spread it around, right? I mean, how stupid are we? How stupid are we? To allow this to continue to go on, to see what's happening. And you know, it was interesting because a tape was made, right? You saw that with the airplane coming in, nice plane. And the airplane coming in and the money coming off, I guess, right? That was given to us, has to be, by the Iranians. And you know why the tape was given to us? Because they want to embarrass our country. They want to embarrass our country. And they want to embarrass our president because we have a president who's incompetent. They want to embarrass our president. I mean, who would ever think that they would be taking all of this money off the plane and then providing us with a tape? It's only for one reason. And it's very, very sad. So we have a lot of problems in our country. We have border problems. People are pouring into our country. We have no idea who they are. We have people. We're going to build a wall, folks. Don't worry about it. We're going to build a wall. Up here, you have tremendous heroin problems. You have tremendous problems. Comes from the southern border, but you have tremendous problems. And I'll tell you what, we're going to get it solved. We're going to build a wall. You know, we have another thing. We have 16,500. You can do whatever you want. Go ahead, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Well, you have to say, you know, a Trump rally is the safest place in our country to be, believe me. Believe me, right? The safest. But if we keep going the way it is, our whole country's becoming different. They're shooting our police at record levels. You saw where I said in my speech, 50% higher. And then they went out and they looked. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Sort of rude, you know, when you think of it. And what are we looking for? We want strong military, we want jobs, we want good education, health care, right? We're all like looking for the first. We're looking for the same thing, sort of. You want to have a good life. You want to have a good life. You want safety. And then we have people interrupting constantly. But actually, it hasn't been happening much. It's happening a little bit today, but it hasn't been happening much. I sort of miss my protesters. you know? And we don't get them from Hillary because there's no, you know, the Bernie people had spirit. We don't get them from Hillary because they don't care. They don't care. But you look at what's happening in terms of our police, where they're shooting our police at record levels. 50% up, and I said 50%, it's actually much higher than that from last year. So we need law and order. We have to have it. We have to have it. We need law and order. We've got to protect our police. And our police have to be careful, and they have to do their job, and they have to do it correctly, and they will do it correctly. But we have to take care of our police. I'll tell you, they're really going through a tough time. So I wrote a little thing down that I thought I'd have, because in light of the $400 million that just got ripped away from our country, all right? And, you know, the real number, you look at it, $150 billion, we got nothing. We got nothing. And they think they probably paid the $400 million for the hostages, which is even worse. And now, since then, I don't know if you know, we have 2 more hostages right now. Why wouldn't they? We have 2 more hostages right now. Were fairly recently grabbed, and they're in Iran. And I guess, what are we going to do with that one, right? So they do $400 million, gets flown at night into Iran. I think it's so sad and so disgusting. And you also wonder about a government, who can approve a thing like that? Would they take cash into a country and just hand it to them? Bushels and bushels of cash. And then you look at our country, where we owe $20 trillion. I used to say 18, used to say 17. When I started, I was saying 16 and 17. Now it's 18 and 19. Now it's going to very soon be 20. It's going to be 22 very soon, because we have a budget that is very, very expensive. But it doesn't take good care of our military. Our military is depleted, and we have to fix our military. And I know for the Navy, one of the reporters was talking about, one of the reporters, how do you feel about building ships? Because you have a lot of ships you're building up here, good ones, right? So our Navy, as you know, has one of the lowest numbers of ships that they've had in decades and decades. And we've got to rebuild our Navy. We've got to rebuild our whole military, folks, and we're going to do it. Probably almost never have needed it more than we need it now, with all of the people out there that don't like us very much. And we're going to be very strong. We're going to be very smart. We're going to build up our military. It's so depleted. We're going to take care of our vets. We're going to take care of our vets. Our vets are so badly treated. You look at what's going on, where they wait online 6, 7, 8 days. Think of it. You're not a vet. Think of it in the audience. Think of it. 6, 7, 8 days. People are dying online waiting for doctors and committing suicide. The suicides are at numbers that nobody's ever thought possible. We're going to take care of our vets. I put a plan in. People are loving the plan. People are loving the plan. And if you're waiting online for an extended period of time, you're going to walk outside, you're going to go to a doctor who's looking for business, you're going to go to a hospital, private or public, you're going to get taken care of, and it's going to be less expensive. The government's going to pay the bill. It's going to be far less expensive than what's been happening. People are dying waiting online for a simple pill.
All right, so you've heard Donald Trump, and you know, how about the timing? The fact that, you know, Buck and Juliet and I were discussing the $400 million, the optics of it, the no big dealness of it. You know.
And we've got to rebuild our Navy. We've got to rebuild our whole military, folks, and we're going to do it. Probably almost never have needed it more than we need it now, with all of the people out there that don't like us very much. And we're going to be very strong. We're going to be very smart. We're going to build up our military. It's so depleted. We're going to take care of our vets. We're going to take care of our vets. Our vets are so badly treated. You look at what's going on, where they wait online 6, 7, 8 days. Think of it. You're not a vet. Think of it in the audience. Think of it. 6, 7, 8 days. People are dying online waiting for doctors and committing suicide. The suicides are at numbers that nobody's ever thought possible. We're going to take care of our vets. I put a plan in. People are loving the plan. People are loving the plan. And if you're waiting online for an extended period of time, you're going to walk outside, you're going to go to a doctor who's looking for business, you're going to go to a hospital, private or public, you're going to get taken care of, and it's going to be less expensive. The government's going to pay the bill. It's going to be far less expensive than what's been happening. People are dying waiting in line for a simple pill or a simple prescription. They're dying. Our great veterans are dying waiting in line, and we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. No more. No more. So I wrote a few things down, and the Obama-Clinton, she's a disaster. She's a disaster. The Obama-Clinton foreign policy has handed huge portions of Iraq, Libya, Syria, and other areas to ISIS, okay? Huge portions. We don't know, is ISIS coming into our country? With all of the people that are pouring in, we have no idea who they are. We have absolutely no idea. You know the harm they want to inflict. You look at what's taken place in our country, San Bernardino and Orlando, and look at what's gone on all over the world. I mean, look at the World Trade Center. Look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. Oh, boy. It's a wild life. So you look at what we've sacrificed and what we've given up, and the level of viciousness where heads are being chopped off, where people are being drowned in steel cages. We haven't seen this since medieval times. I mean, you know, I loved history. You talk about medieval times, and you would never have thought you were going to see the things we're seeing today. And it's gotten out of control, and Obama has let it get out of control. And then you have Hillary's made tremendous mistakes in every way.
We've been listening to Donald Trump speaking in Portland, Maine. You just saw a third round of protesters interrupting his rally there. At one point, they were holding up what looked to be pocket-sized constitutions. That, of course, a reference to Khizr Khan, the father, Gold Star family father, who last week spoke at the Democratic National Convention.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. Hi, everybody. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so I think the bouquet still looks nice. I'm going to do a few videos today because I don't think the bouquet has all that much time left in her. Shh, don't tell her. But I think it still looks nice. Getting a little yellow. But it's a beautiful thing. I hope you have this in your garden. Okay, so I finally figured out why the prostitutes are cutting off Donald Trump. I thought that it was, you know, that it was this thing where their heads were so big that it was more, that they really believed that it was more important for you to hear what it is they think about what Donald Trump is saying than what Donald Trump is actually saying. And here's the facts. These people, when they do a Donald Trump rally, are giving him way less airtime than when they cover a Hillary Clinton rally. And I believe that's illegal, prostitutes. So we're clear. I think it's illegal. I think you have to give equal time. I'm pretty sure there's equal time laws. These are the two presidential candidates, other than Gary Johnson, who is the only other candidate on the ballot in all 50 states. Jill Stein, I love you. I don't understand why the Green Party isn't on the ballot in all 50 states. If you want to win, you will have to be able, if you want to give voters a true alternative vote, It's not just throwing away their vote. Then you have to be on the ballot in all 50 states. Gary Johnson will legalize marijuana. Guaranteed. Okay? And you might think, oh, good, you get what you want, Stoner. No, what we get is the end of institutionalized racism, which is what Bernie Sanders called the prohibition of marijuana. He called it institutionalized racism at every single one of his rallies. Okay? Gary Johnson. And if you want to give some power back to the people, give some freedom back to the people, take some power away from the police state, this is the #1 quickest way to do it. Gary Johnson will legalize marijuana. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay? So that makes things safer for you cops. Okay? You don't have to hassle people over nothing and then get shot and maybe not make it home to your families, which is your priority, right? Not hassling people, not having power over people for absolutely nothing, for growing an herb, for having a little bit of a flower in their pocket. Gary Johnson will legalize marijuana. He will. And he's the only other candidate on the ballot in all 50 states. Okay? Now, the reason that these prostitutes act like it's more important for them, for them to define what Donald Trump is saying so that you can understand what Donald Trump is saying, isn't because their heads are so big. It's because they're afraid that if you actually hear what Donald Trump is saying, he might say something that you like. He might say something that you identify with. He might say something that clicks with you. So we have to cut his rallies off short as possible. Oh no, look, we're giving Donald Trump equal time. We cover both the rallies, but you don't cover them both with equal amounts of time. Clearly, the MSM, they are the mind control device of this government. And they are terrified of Donald Trump. Clearly, for the last 72 hours, I've seen nothing but Trump bashing for like 50 out of 60 minutes of an hour of news programming. Over and over again, 50 out of 60 minutes is Donald Trump bashing from the prostitutes in the mainstream media. I'm no Donald Trump fan. I'm telling you, Gary Johnson is an actual alternative. All you never Trump people, all you never Hillary people, all you Bernie Sanders voters, any Bernie Sanders voter that's willing to vote for Hillary is willing to vote for the person that conspired and cheated to beat your candidate, to beat Bernie Sanders. Oh, you Bernie or bust people got to get over it. No, you have to go fuck Hillary Clinton. She basically took away my vote by cheating. She might as well have done messed with the computers, which they did with this whole superdelegate thing. Okay, it's not Hillary's turn, bitches. Nobody wants Hillary. And by bitches, I mean people like every one of you superdelegates that tried to push Hillary over the top. A lot of pollen in the air today. But I digress. The reason they don't want you hearing Donald Trump rally is because Donald Trump might just say something that clicks with you. Like, fuck those people, or fuck those people. Or the prostitutes are the most evil people on the planet, which is something he keeps saying too. Or Hillary Clinton created ISIS with the full help of the media. They don't want you hearing what Donald Trump is saying, so we're clear. And C-SPAN is not doing their fucking job covering this election. What the hell is wrong with you, C-SPAN? How come the news networks can get a feed of the Donald Trump rally at any time, over and over again, no problem, but C-SPAN can't. How come? Because C-SPAN would cover the full thing if they covered it. But they're choosing not to cover it. Why is that? Everybody on summer break? Is that what's going on, C-SPAN? Do your fucking job. Oh man, C-SPAN just gotten to be such bullshit. I'll play a C-SPAN video in a minute. They ask, is Donald Trump unfit to be president? Yesterday morning. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page. One of these days this war is going to end. Stay cool until that day.
My name is Gary Johnson. Today I reach out to you, members of all political parties. I reach out to everyone with a vote and an axe to grind. From the Tea Party, the Constitution Party, the Green and Libertarian parties. I call out to all of you, including the disaffected and disillusioned among the Republicans and Democrats. Today there's a handful of people in Washington ruining America. This small group has presided over the elimination of our Bill of Rights and the systematic dismantling of our freedoms guaranteed us under our Constitution. Our leaders have blown it. I ask you to join me in trying something that's never been attempted before in America. Let's put our parties and our differences aside one time. Be libertarian with me for one election. Together, we'll stop the spending and end the war. Together, we'll restore our industrial might and our economy. And if in 4 years we as a people decide we don't like peace, prosperity, and freedom, we can always vote tyranny back into office again. America is better and brighter than this. Be libertarian with me this one time, and I'll prove it to you. Live free.